The last transmission of Maria Orsic. Berlin, 1944. The city no longer slept. It trembled. Air raid sirens wailed like wounded animals, and somewhere beneath the streets, far below the shelters and forgotten tunnels, she listened. Maria Orsic sat perfectly still in the candlelit chamber, her long hair braided and tied behind her back. Copper wires ran from the walls to a ring of strange symbols carved into the stone floor. The others had already left. They always did before the transmissions began. They said Maria could hear what others could not. She said it wasn't hearing. It was remembering. She closed her eyes. The vibration came first, not a sound, but a pressure behind the eyes, like standing too close to a vast engine. Then the images bled through, towering halls of pale light, impossible geometry, skies without suns. A voice followed. Neither male nor female. You are running out of time. Her hand moved on its own, writing in tight, unfamiliar script. Not German. Not any Earth language. The letters curved and folded in ways that hurt to look at. The voice continued. The gate will not remain open. You must leave what is collapsing. Maria's breath slowed. Outside, bombs fell. Dust sifted down from the ceiling like gray snow. She asked the question she had never dared to speak before. Where will we go? The pause was long. Heavy. Not all may come. By early 1945, rumors spread through the inner circles. Maria Orsic had vanished. No arrest records. No death certificate. No witnesses. Only what was left behind. In an abandoned apartment, investigators found burned papers, scorched as if by intense heat rather than fire. In a cellar beneath the city, they found the chamber, emptied, stripped, the symbols gouged from the stone as though someone had tried to erase the very idea of it. And on the wall, scratched deep into concrete, a single sentence in German. We are no longer of this place. Years later, Allied intelligence dismissed the story as myth. But technicians working with early radio equipment reported something strange. At irregular intervals, always late at night, signals would appear on unused frequencies. Not voices. Not music. Patterns. Repeating. Precise. Almost intentional. One operator, before resigning, wrote in his log. It feels like someone knocking from the other side of a door we don't remember building. Some say Maria Orsic never existed. Others say she died in the ruins of Berlin. And a few, very few, believe this. She didn't disappear. She departed. And whatever answered her is still listening. Vril is described as a single, all-pervading force, not something invented, but something discovered. The idea first appeared in The Coming Race by Edward Bulwer-Lytton, where it was presented as a speculative energy that filled the universe and could be shaped by will, intelligence, and discipline. Although written as fiction, the concept struck a nerve at a time when electricity, magnetism, and unseen forces were only just being understood. To some readers, Vril felt less like imagination and more like a truth revealed too early. In esoteric belief, Vril is not merely power but potential, a current that exists everywhere, waiting for resonance. It is said to sit between mind and matter, responding not to machines alone but to consciousness itself. Those who wrote about it claimed Vril could heal or destroy, animate technology, influence thought, and even bend physical laws. Crucially, it was believed to amplify intention. Clarity and discipline produced harmony, while fear or aggression resulted in catastrophe. This made Vril dangerous, not because it was evil, but because it was neutral. Occult traditions began to treat Vril as a lost or hidden energy akin to ancient ideas like prana or ether, but far more volatile. It was said that ordinary people could not access it directly. Only individuals trained to enter altered mental states, through trance, deep focus, or ritual, could interface with it safely. Symbols, harmonic ratios, and geometric forms were thought to act as tuning systems, aligning the human mind with the energy's frequency rather than forcing it. In occult belief, long hair was thought to act like a biological antenna. Hair was seen as a natural conductor, an extension of the nervous system capable of sensing subtle fields. Women, especially those trained as mediums, were believed to be more receptive to altered states of consciousness, and their long, uncut hair was said to improve sensitivity to Vril. Cutting it was believed to weaken perception, reduce clarity, or sever the connection entirely. In the mythology surrounding Maria Orsic, her name becomes linked to flight, levitation, and anti-gravity through a mix of occult symbolism, post-war speculation, and misunderstood physics. None of this is historically proven, but the story has an internal logic that's worth unpacking. At the center of the legend is the claim that Maria was not a scientist or engineer in the traditional sense, but a conduit. Maria's alleged role was to interface with information, not machines. Through trance states, she was said to receive complex diagrams and concepts, often described as automatic writing or symbolic schematics. These designs were later interpreted as relating to rotating fields, counter-rotation, and containment geometries. In the lore, this is where anti-gravity enters, not as gravity turned off, but as gravity overwritten by a stronger, coherent field. Anti-gravity in this context isn't depicted as technological dominance over nature, but cooperation with it. The craft described in Vril lore are silent, disc-like, and smooth in motion. They don't fight gravity, they step sideways out of it by creating a localized field that cancels inertia. Maria is said to have understood this intuitively, not mathematically. Her value was perception, not calculation. According to the legend, Maria Orsic did not die, flee, or get captured. She vanished by design. As the story goes, in the final months of the war the inner circle began to collapse. Facilities were abandoned, records burned, and experiments halted. Those who worked on propulsion and field theory claimed something essential was missing, not equipment, not materials, but the interface. Without Maria and the women like her, nothing functioned correctly. The systems became unstable. The fields wouldn't hold. Maria knew this before anyone else. The legend says she received one last transmission. Not instructions for a machine, but a warning. The connection was closing. Whatever intelligence or source had been communicating through her was withdrawing, or relocating. Staying behind would mean exposure, interrogation, or misuse of what she carried in her mind. In early 1945, she gathered the remaining women. They did not pack belongings. They did not take documents. The knowledge, according to the myth, was not written down anymore, it was embodied. Her final message, allegedly left behind in a destroyed apartment, read, "No one remains here." After that, nothing. No arrest records. No corpse. No refugee trail. No confirmed sighting. What unsettled investigators most was not her absence, but the absence of evidence of departure. No travel papers. No witnesses. No border crossings. It was as if she had stepped out of the historical record itself. The legend claims that Maria and a small group were transported south in the final months of the war, either by submarine or by a craft capable of long-range, non-conventional travel. From there, the story splits. One version says Antarctica was merely a staging ground. A place to stabilize, prepare, and wait. The ice wasn't the destination, it was cover. The idea is that whatever technology or knowledge Maria carried could not be activated under global surveillance. Antarctica bought time. She stands in the mythology as the Godmother archetype of UFO lore, UAP mystery, and anti-gravity narratives, not because she built machines, but because she embodies the origin point of the idea itself. In the stories that followed the war, Maria Orsic becomes the moment where mythology pivots. Before her, flight was mechanical. After her, it was conceptual. UFOs stop being aircraft and start becoming phenomena. Anti-gravity stops being engineering and becomes field interaction. The craft are no longer piloted in the usual sense, they are entered, stabilized, allowed. She is the prototype for the missing scientist, the vanished contactee, the intermediary who leaves no body and no paperwork, only influence. After her, UFO narratives no longer need blueprints. They need witnesses. They need symbols. They need absence. In modern UAP discussions, when objects are described as defying known physics, performing impossible turns, or operating without visible propulsion, they echo the same mythic structure: technology that behaves less like a machine and more like a decision. That framing, whether people realize it or not, belongs to her archetype. She is remembered because she left. And in doing so, she becomes the creator figure of the myth itself. The moment when humanity stops asking how does it fly? And starts asking why does it move at all? That's why her story never ends with death. It ends with distance. Not upward. Not forward. But sideways, out of history, out of gravity, and into the space where modern UFO mythology still lives.